Global school partnerships are an exciting and effective way of providing young people with an understanding and knowledge of the world. Joint curricular work between partner schools and exchange visits widen perspectives and change attitudes and values. Global School Partnerships is an award-winning programme which supports partnerships between schools in the UK and schools in Africa, Asia, Latin America and the Caribbean that embed global themes in their curricula. Workshops and other support are on offer to schools throughout the initial stages of the partnership journey, and total funding can last up to 4 years. The Teacher Taster session enables teachers to get an overview of global school partnerships.
A warm welcome to Global School Partnerships Teacher Taster session. My name's Teresa and I am delivering this session on behalf of Global School Partnerships today. I actually work for Voluntary Service Overseas, which is one of the consortium members that delivers the programme.
Many areas are covered, including guidance and support, professional development, opportunities and grants, whilst discussion is encouraged.
The three main points that I find is the lack of understanding of my students, definitely, of their position. They believe that the center of the world is Western, European, maybe American, that's it. Yes, there is a problem with poverty, which is like they would never understanding in our world, but at the same time, the amount of neglect that there is in families here would never be seen as much in a lot of communities. The poorest communities of the world won't have as many mothers not caring about their kids as they have, for example, in the area I live.
Sometimes it seems what we gain in modernisation, we lose in culture, in family, in community, definitely.
Because we're a small school, the children's experience can be somewhat limited, so a learning partnership like this would enable us to really extend the boundaries of the children's learning.
The benefit I think we'll see is going to be with the curriculum, and that will be an understanding of each other's cultures, of each other's problems that we have in the vicinities and the countries that we actually live in. Just the day-to-day life in a school, what do they learn in schools, what do we learn in schools, and from that I think both of our schools will benefit and be able to develop.
Really the taster session for me was finding out a bit more about the whole idea of the partnership, and the information I've got today has confirmed for me that I'm wanting to take a partnership forward, and has shown me a clear direction in how to begin the process of doing that.
As a novice school, you can gain valuable first-hand information by visiting a good practice partnership school in your area.
I thought it all looked absolutely fantastic actually. The lesson, the children were obviously really well motivated by the lesson. They've obviously done a lot of work around the theme because they were very knowledgeable and had a lot of understanding of the subject matter of apartheid.
Give us some information about apartheid.
Whites were not allowed to marry black people.
Okay, now that was an interesting one. Any other group got anything to add to that?
If they had the baby and it had black skin, the baby would have to go to the black parent.
We had, if you left your house for more than 2 weeks, you weren't allowed to go back in, and you would have to make a shanty house, and that's how the shanty town started.
Speaking with a few of the children, they were very enthusiastic about their link with the other school, and there was lots of evidence around the classroom of how closely that link is formed, and the children obviously see that this is a really important part of their curriculum, so it's made me feel very enthusiastic about moving forward. The children are citizens of the future. They're also developing lots of skills, lots of interdisciplinary learning. The lesson that we saw today, the children were working cooperatively in groups, they were listening, they were writing, There was lots of thinking going along, they were recalling information, so I think it's a very motivating context for children. Really our next action is to find a school that we can partner with, and I know that there's advice and guidelines on how to do that through the British Council.
Workshops take place internationally throughout the partnership journey. The accompanying booklet inside your DVD case contains information regarding the support that is on offer. The introductory workshop is another really good way of understanding more about global school partnerships at this early stage. This workshop gives you an introduction to the principles, educational benefits, practicalities and viability of global school partnerships. This workshop can also be done online.
I'm here basically to learn about the British Council's work in linking schools in South Africa to schools in the UK.
I was very excited to attend it, and my expectations really are met. I'm quite interested to form a partnership with any other school in the UK, a school similar to mine, so that I can share experiences, share ideas. It would be beneficial for my school because my learners are from a very poor background, and I think they will get exposure, not in terms of travel alone, but to gain experience how people are doing the same disabled people in other parts of the globe.
I was apprehensive at first coming to the workshop, not knowing what to expect. When you have a very small resources, that tends to control your thinking in terms of your learners and your educators. Because of the perception that has been brought over through media, that kids in the UK and America have, or shall I say, mature much earlier than what they do. When they turn 17 or 16, they are still perceived as a child, whereas in the UK and America, those children are perceived as being adults.
It's a good thing for young people because people do have a lot of other perceptions about the world. But if they experience it by themselves, it will be very, very much beneficial for them. At first, it sounded very, very much difficult. But after the workshop, everything is now made clear to me.
Seeing that we've been at the workshop, we will definitely make use of the Global Gateway to get connected to a school in the UK.
Once your school has decided to form a partnership, we recommend that you go onto the Global Gateway website. And register to find a partner. After registering, schools are eligible to apply for a starter grant of £250 to support them in finding a partner. The starter grant will fund eligible activities and is available to UK schools who do not already have a global school partnership in an eligible country.
I think any opportunity to find out about how other people live, what goes on in other countries, raises children and young people's aspiration about perhaps what they would like to achieve in their lives.
Global School Partnership is something that Mrs. Price started the ball rolling. She said, could we link with a school in India? And I thought it was a great opportunity for the pupils to find out how other children in different parts of the world went to school and what they did.
The idea for the partnership began with an invitation I received at the beginning of 2008 to the wedding of a friend's daughter in Calcutta, and I had thought that while I was there it would be nice to try to visit a school and see if we could establish a partnership, a link, and found one that seemed to very much echo the ethics, the philosophy, and the sort of community feeling that we have here at Dye Courts. Paramount in everything is the child. Having come back with sketched out details of what Mrs. Koula, the principal, and I thought should go into the partnership agreement, that then had to be fed back, obviously, to my headmaster and to staff here.
We've linked with Akshar School to carry out work on a similar vein with similar age pupils, so they can actually share the sort of work that's going on. I think at the moment there's work on rivers, there's been work on recycling.
And what's happening here?
There was fireworks. I did a picture.
And where did we send it?
I sent it to India.
The application process for the reciprocal visit grant was really signposted for me at the British Council in Calcutta. After that, it was simply a case of following the guidance notes and then exchanging, by the powers of the internet, each draft of the document, with each school adding, amending, deleting as we went along to put the whole document together.
Once a partnership is established, schools can apply for a reciprocal visit grant. The grant enables staff from each school to meet face-to-face, to plan joint curricular activities with a global theme, laying the foundation for long-term collaborative work. The grant must be split between the partner schools to enable one visit to each school during the funding period.
It wasn't hard to fill it in, it was time consuming really. It needed thought, you know, you wanted to give it your best shot. I have no plans to ever be the teacher that goes. I really want to see this go forward with other members of staff who will, you know, go and have the experience, enjoy it, and feedback to all the other staff. So it was never about me.
The Building Effective Partnerships Professional Development Workshop provides participants with the opportunity to explore what makes a strong, sustainable partnership.
Well, on Monday, very exciting, I'm off to Calcutta in India, obviously, to visit our partnership school, Akshar. I've got to pack my case this weekend. Right, put your hands up if you would like me to take Jack. No. The support I've had from Julia has been absolutely incredible. She has guided me all the way through. She's made the necessary contacts. She's made sure that support networks are in hand for when I arrive in Calcutta. I obviously will spend a fair amount of time observing their lessons, and really it's to see, looking at their lessons and their practices and their way of working with special needs children, because it's a mainstream school that integrates children with special educational needs, and to see if there's anything from their approach that I can then add to the way that we work with our children.
Although it's early days for the partnership and for the projects, we do have to outline in the reciprocal visit grant application 3 of the 5 areas for the global partnership that we want to work in.
There are 5 global education themes: diversity, social justice and equity, globalization and interdependence, sustainable development, and peace and conflict resolution.
So what's in the pipeline, what's already started? Jan, as you know from the application, is working within one of the Global School Partnership themes and doing the project on rivers.
Just prior to being asked whether I wanted to go to India, I went on a course. It was about the River Ingrebourne, which is our local river. And I knew that this was our up-and-coming topic that we were going to do.
Right, so there's a small tributary of the Hooghly River next to you. Yeah, but that would be brilliant. Oh, I'll tell her, she loved that, a boat ride. Great.
We did not want to have something that was completely separate to the work that we were doing. That would have been silly. We wanted something that was going to complement. And I put that forward when we were filling in the grant application as well, that rivers would be good, which linked very nicely into what Mrs. Price was doing with her classes, which was Rivers of the World.
What's really important with school partnerships is to realise that they're not bolt-on, that they have to be completely integrated and embedded into a school's curriculum. So what a school can do is look at what they're already developing with their young people within their curriculum and see how these partnerships can be integrated. So don't see it as something new, something that you actually integrate into what you're already successfully doing.
What we hope to gain from this first reciprocal visit is a greater understanding from everybody involved that knows about the visit. So our pupils here know that their teacher, Miss Gibbons, is doing this huge journey to a school very far away, a school that a lot of our children have already sent emails to and had emails back from, making it very much more real.
If you take a globe in your hand and you spin it all the way around to where you're travelling, the child can see that and understand distance. And when you see that how small we are in comparison to all the rest of the world, then I think it gives them a true idea of what it is to be just one very small part in one very big world.
Never have there been better opportunities for embedding school partnerships within the curriculum to bring learning alive, to develop the new statutory aims to the curriculum: successful learners, confident individuals and responsible citizens.
It's good to get to know them before you judge them, because sometimes people say you can't judge a book by its cover. You actually have to go through it to actually understand it.
What I hope will come of it ultimately is for the children at both schools and the staff at both schools to understand that we have more in common than we have that's different.
At this stage of the journey, UK One World Linking Association offers country conferences to facilitate setting up global school partnerships. Please refer to the accompanying booklet for more support information.
We can no longer just live within our own small communities and not know or forget about what happens in the rest of the world. The world's a very small place.
Well, the British Council organised a workshop in Kandy. That was the introductory workshop, and we were introduced regarding projects and how we should work. Then our school was published in the Global Gateway website, and from Belfast, St. Mary's, they have identified us as their partner school.
Okay girls, today we are going to look at how people in Sri Lanka live sustainably. You've already...
So we're into our 4th year, and the partnership has grown from that very first email. Tasia and I have become extremely close. Tasia has visited here on 2 occasions.
During my first visit to Northern Ireland, we sat together with the coordinator and we decided on topics, subject areas and the age groups. So when I returned to Sri Lanka, I had to sit with my subject teachers and talk to them whether we can do, whether it's in our curriculum. So Deirdre did the same thing over there at St. Mary's High School. Then we decided on the same topic and we started collaborative work.
We started with very simple projects with single topics, and later on by the second year and the third year we have increased more subtopics, and it's a complex topic that we have selected where more students are involved and more class levels are involved in it.
I think what makes a successful partnership is when the two teachers who are initially involved are totally committed. And Tazia was totally committed and I was totally committed. I'm now passing the link on to a younger teacher in the school, but when I look back, the partnership is now a little bit of me, and it will always be with Tazia as well.
I have worked on the projects with Deirdre before, so it wasn't unfamiliar. I knew what she was doing, I knew the involvement, and I knew the project work, so that wasn't scary. I knew all of that. She asked anybody would they like to take it on, and I thought about it, but I didn't really act on it until I met Tazia and I saw her and I was talking to her face to face. I decided then I would like to take it on. I basically am coordinating 6 subjects in our school, and we're linking them with 6 subjects in Sri Lanka, and we're doing collaborative work together. I also will be involved in the visit to Sri Lanka, where myself and another colleague will be going to Sri Lanka in June.
So they have sent their projects on arable farming and dairy products. So would you like to see them? So far we have completed 15 projects, and for the next year for the curriculum grants we have 6 projects from 2009 to 2010.
To do projects, we go on field trips and collect data, but we don't do that when doing the normal educational projects.
We do projects related to each other. So that's how we do. For example, if we take child development, so they also have done the child development and we also have done the child development. So it's like that.
Whenever we do our own projects, we also learn stuff about our own culture that maybe we didn't know before by researching it on the internet, whereas whenever we're learning, about the others, like they know everything about it. So like we get to learn from theirs, and we also get to learn from our own, from things that we didn't know before.
If my child has to find details from the local community, she being a Muslim, she went to my neighbors who were Buddhist and to say, tell me something about your culture because I have to provide this to the project in Northern Ireland. So therefore they provided. So those local community also became aware that there is a project of this nature.
My favourite project was the anorexia one.
Sustainable living.
The Rickets project.
Halloween. Paddy conservation of Sri Lanka.
Christmas project.
Started disorders.
And faith in food.
Creative project. Writing poems.
It's different from just the old curriculum or just the boring one.
I think that Global School Partnership Program projects brings life to the subjects because we do projects based on various fields.
This is more interesting, you're really hands-on and you get to interact with the class and talk about it instead of just writing it down in an exercise book.
Alright girls, here's all the project work sent from Sri Lanka.
When we get the parcel, we're like, what's inside that? We can't wait to open it. And then there's projects and there's artwork, and their artwork is brilliant.
I think they're very amazing on how to draw them and all the different colours that they use.
Our Year 8 Geography students study sustainable living. We did this as part of a project about 3 years ago. The work that we received from the college in Sri Lanka was so good that I have now taken their resources and used them every year now as part of our sustainable living for Year 8 Geography students in the school.
This is a project from the Sri Lankan girls. It's about how they use materials to make pillows and bed sheets and tablecloths with just old materials that they don't really need anymore.
When I saw this project from Sri Lanka, I was surprised because I thought I recycled, but they recycle far more.
Being a global citizen to me, it means that we can all learn about each other and we all realise that to them, what we do, it's abnormal, and then to us, what they do, it's abnormal. So we understand what they do and we understand that we do, and then we can now acknowledge that it's all normal for everybody.
At first, when I seen that they wore a veil, I thought that was a bit weird, but then I began to respect that that's their religion.
We Muslims usually don't have chances of opening to the world, but this is a program that has helped us to see the outer world.
The boys here have more freedom to move about, whereas the girls are very much restricted. So the Global School Partnership Project has given an opportunity to break this barrier and to be more open with the outside world.
One of the challenge, I would say, to be honest, filling up the curriculum grant application. It's a task itself.
Once your partnership has been well established, you can apply for a Global Curriculum Project Grant. This grant enables the partnership to further develop joint curricular projects with a global theme. As well as travel costs for both school visits, this grant helps to cover costs such as materials, training and supply cover related to the project.
We both applied, we both got the award. I went to London, I picked up the award on behalf of the school. It was an absolutely amazing day.
The International School Award is a reward of hard work, commitment and dedication of the teacher as well as the students.
We are so proud to have won that. I mean, it's a big award, a huge award for schools.
The Global School Partnership Programme enables children in the UK and in their partner developing country school to have an exciting, enjoyable and powerful learning experience about the issues in each other's country. What's really key about the programme are its mutual benefits. So a teacher from a developing country will come to a UK school and share their views, experiences, their teaching methodologies with their UK partner and vice versa. So a real key part of this programme is its reciprocal element, the fact that there are benefits for both sides. It's about learning jointly together and exploring our similarities and differences.
Children are the future of the country, and they have the enthusiasm to do work and curiosity to do new things.
If we didn't have the link between our two schools, I wouldn't know anything about their cultures. But now that we've done this for the past 3 years in school, I feel like I know a lot about them, and I think it's a good experience to have.
It's only by people-to-people exchange that we can foster international peace, harmony and non-violence. Therefore, I think it's very important the continuation of this project for the world peace and the world free of violence.
It's more like a friendship. It's a bond between two countries with a lot of understanding and sharing. We will continue, I can assure that.
The Global Education in Partnership Professional Development Workshop is available for teachers who wish to explore global education and the opportunities it provides for shared learning within a school partnership. Please refer to the accompanying booklet for more support information.
It started in the classroom with the children. The children themselves, they have spread the message to their parents. The parents have spread the message into the community.
Children are now starting to get serious on their schoolwork, and they are starting to get serious in the community, taking them away from things that would have really been problematic to the parents. It's both benefiting in terms of the school environment as well as the community benefiting out of it.
My family's involvement, I suppose, has been through the children, where the benefit they've had has been the teachers coming to the school really and giving them a window into another world.
Because it's more expensive than just bringing a pound and then everyone would bring a pound.
We have an Isaho Link committee in the school. They drive the partnership forward and they do a huge amount of work, and it involves parents and children and some teachers as well.
We could send out letters in Juniper Green.
Maybe Barberton as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, because there's lots of people.
But not everybody wants to do that. I know, but it's not like they have to do it. I know.
They're at the heart of the link, and I don't think it would have lasted as long without them, because they give incredible support to it.
I mean, I get involved in the sort of the running of maybe a Ceilidh or an African afternoon or something, or maybe thinking up ideas for the children for them to raise funds and everything.
Visiting teachers stayed in our house for the 2 weeks that they were here, which was fantastic.
Last time the teachers stayed at my house from Isaho. They were called Sue and Catherine.
We have about 5 visits now. Juniper Green teachers coming to Isaho. It's 5. I'm so happy because I'm one of them. I'm from there. So I'm talking about what I know.
Just like this car here. Look at that. What have they used for their lights?
Bottle tops.
Bottle tops. Excellent.
We could see in Scotland that every little piece of thing that a child does, the child will be praised for it. Every time the teacher will say, "Thank you, you have done well." So we shared it with our teachers.
You won't believe it. What I learned there about discipline, I came here to Isaho to practice it. I like the most wonderful style when you keep the children quiet. You just clap your hand thrice and then you clap with them. Then they are quiet. You know, it worked. It worked when I brought it to Isaho.
I felt that when I was over there, they would sing to get the children's attention as well, which was just lovely, and they'd all just break into song. And how they use music and rhythm is fascinating. And as a teacher myself, I thought, gosh, I could really use music a lot more in my classroom and look at instruments and making, I became a lot more inventive with music in my classroom, having been to South Africa. We've had a lot of visitors to the school as well, so we share practice in that way as well. Other schools come round to have a look, and we have had a variety of visitors.
We take our visitors to the other schools, and for your information, when we went over, they also took us to these other schools, and we could see our people here from Kimberley especially. Also their photos, it was nice. We share everything with the community.
When we had to go over to Scotland, we were skeptical. But as years went by, many of us now started wanting to go over.
Speaking to Isaho and hearing what they are saying, that really opens up everything for you. It makes you feel more comfortable. It will allow you to broaden your mind in terms of education, in terms of curriculum, in terms of discipline.
Could you give out one letter to every girl here, please? I'm going to see what they say.
We work together by like sending letters and bringing other teachers over so they can see what we live like and we can see what they live like.
I think it's very good communicating with those Scotland people because we are sharing information and we learn many things from them, what's happening there in Scotland, and they also learn many things here, what's happening here.
I do think that children have the same right, and I don't think that we are any different from the children in Juniper Green, because I think we do all love about the same things and love the same games.
We can see that the partnership is already preparing them to become citizens. They are no more hesitant to talk in the classroom. They will just go with the flow and get into the thing. So it is really preparing them in a way. It is shaping them.
The first question is, what is apartheid?
I think school partnerships are essential for effective global education because it's really the core of Curriculum for Excellence in terms of giving children a meaningful context in which to explore all the issues that are around global citizenship.
The relevancy of global school partnerships for Curriculum for Excellence is really that it's all about preparing our young people for life and work in a global society. So it's at the very heart of a Curriculum for Excellence, and we would be failing our young people in the 21st century if we didn't have an international dimension in our education.
Today we've been learning about the human rights of the world.
I thought in Scotland there was apartheid as it was here in South Africa. I found out that there wasn't apartheid at all.
It is important to teach today's learners, especially about social justice and the human rights, because there is this change, especially here in South Africa. In fact, the whole world.
I think education is very important too, because everybody has a right to learn.
Having staff coming across from Isaho and actually teaching lessons to our children, teaching them about the African culture right where they are, it's just so much more motivating and enjoyable, and therefore it has much more impact for the children.
We found when we first set up that it went from parents to teachers as well, who saw it as a way of donating and helping poor Africans. And that's very much, it took time to talk to people and to say that it wasn't about that it's about sharing what you have. And it may be unequal in that we may be seen to have more here, that in terms of our material wealth and what we have as a school in terms of resources, but equally Isaho had so much to give us in terms of experience and knowledge. I don't think there would be that shared learning if we didn't have that equity. We're now at the end of our third cycle of our reciprocal grants, and that's our final year.
One of the really optimistic things for us is that we have this groundswell of support for the project from our parents, from the pupils and from the local community. So this year we're actually funding 2 teachers to visit us from Isaho ourselves, not using any external funding, and that's been a real encouragement.
I don't see how you can drop this because it's such a personal thing. You know, we've got to the point now where there's been quite a few teachers over here and quite a few teachers back over there. And all the teachers from here that have gone over have come back and they've said it's a complete life-changing event.
Our partnership, I can see that it's going to run until I die. And when I look at our partnership, I can see that we are still going to benefit from Scotland and Scotland from us.
these are rare opportunities that we don't want to miss. Because if you miss them, really you would have missed a lot.
The Involving Communities Professional Development Workshop is for schools wishing to explore how local community involvement can contribute to community cohesion and the sustainability of their partnership. Please refer to the accompanying booklet for more support information. Llanllechyd Primary School in North Wales have been in partnership with Mavisville Preparatory School, Kingston, Jamaica for 6 years. They have had a reciprocal visit grant and are currently on their third and final year of curriculum project grants.
I feel we've grounded the partnership so well by now. We have good coordination in Jamaica, and I think we're ready for the next step.
I've been working on this partnership now for 6 years, and it's become a way of life, it's become a way of school life.
I think what's hugely exciting about the Global School Partnerships programme is the way in which it begins and follows through a journey over a number of years. At the start, often it can be direct one-to-one contact between a teacher in a country in the UK and a teacher in a school in a developing country. Through the activities they take forward under the GSP, it becomes part of the whole school.
I was simply invited to this school in North Wales. If you know that part of Wales, sometimes you find schools that don't know anything about the schools down the road. So to see these kids kind of connecting with these children in the Caribbean was really inspiring. A lot of the time when I perform my poetry, I have to explain about the Jamaican rhythms and where my poetry comes from. Didn't have to do it there. I just performed and they connected with it and they felt the rhythms of it because they were familiar with it.
The global dimension areas come in naturally to the work. We don't compartmentalise them under headings that we need to fill in for forms. It comes in naturally. For example, the human rights was there at the outset because we were looking at the human rights of the quarrymen and we were looking at the human rights of the slaves in Jamaica. And in a way we've come full circle because they're now looking at human rights through fair trade and now progressing into human rights of the child to play, which is why we've developed this playground games project, and it's a brilliant one.
We found that lots of the children, unless they were playing football, they would walk around aimlessly during their lunch break and during their playtime. And then because of that, they would say, oh, we're bored and we haven't got anything to do. So we thought, right, let's get proactive.
So we find that children these days, you know, they sit in front of their computers and their TVs at home, and we really need to reteach them to learn these games that we played in the playground when we were young. And we developed that further, and in Mavisville School, when Miss Sarah went over to Mavisville School, she took some of our traditional Welsh games over to Mavisville School, and she learnt some games there as well, and she brought them back to our playground.
Since that we've done the games, the playground games with them, we've seen the changes in the children. They're more imaginative, creative, and you can see that in the classroom and outside.
Children, I think, are happier now in the school, and there are less children quarrelling and complaining during the break times and the dinner time because of this project.
We had already identified some rights of the child materials in the resource centre.
There's development education centres all over the UK. Teachers, if they go on the Development Education Association website, they'll find a list of development education centres all over the country. And they can go there, borrow books, ask for advice and get some help.
The Understanding Education and Development Professional Development Workshop explores what contribution education can make to development and how education can be made fairer for all.
As you can see from our environment, we don't have many diverse cultures here, so it has been a vehicle to bring one particular culture to the attention of our pupils. And of course, by doing that, it also draws in the parents. For example, if we have Jamaica Day, or formerly when we had Benjamin Zephaniah visit, there was an opportunity to meet him, or when the Jamaican teachers visit.
I've always had a very special place in my heart for that school, and I think it's a great example of how a school that on the surface can seem isolated, how it really is plugged into the world.
We share our work by connecting over the internet and the computers, and then we can see their work and they can see our work.
The next step is to sustain the partnership through IT, and namely a project called e-languages. It is hosted by the British Council, but it doesn't require extra funding. It's free access to all teachers, and we've already started the initial stage. We've set up our website and we've started to share resources and pictures and videos and podcasts.
I would recommend it to every school that had a partnership, because you can just store your information on this and then you don't have to remember. All you have to do is read it on this.
It's very instant. You can exchange pictures, ideas, work, and it comes straight into your classroom. The only thing we'll miss is a bit of that flavour, you know, because the teachers always bring food with them, so we will miss that, I think.
It has a knock-on effect, it has an impact on the children. They come home all excited, talking about somebody who's visited from Jamaica and singing the songs, talking about the things they've learnt about another country. So if they are going home to an environment where the parents haven't been very open-minded, that can only have a positive effect.
There is so much in this project for teachers to gain on a professional and a personal level, because as a teacher you're always re-evaluating yourself, you're re-evaluating your reasons for teaching, you're re-evaluating methods.
So I think it's important that teachers themselves need to be more aware about what they can do to learn and understand about partnerships and how they connect to wider issues and their own curriculum subject, for example. And I think school partnerships can help teachers to make a lot of those subjects come alive and make them real.
I think it's very important to recognise that a global school partnership isn't just beneficial for the students, it's also hugely beneficial for the teachers. It's possible for teachers to gain accreditation through their activities as a result of a global school partnership.
One of the things that I've done here at the Institute of Education is develop an MA course in development education, which has a specific module on North-South educational partnerships. And a key feature of that module is actually to give teachers the skills and confidence to not just develop more partnerships, but how they can critically reflect upon what they have been doing.
I certainly think that this project is sustainable because it has embedded in all sorts of areas in the curriculum, from the foundation stage up to Key Stage 2.
The partnership has just embedded its way naturally into school life. I personally don't think of it as an add-on to the curriculum. You know, it covers so many aspects of the curriculum. You've got your geography, IT, language skills, maths. It's just a natural part now of our curriculum.
Well, I think the global education that we've given them here in Ysgol Llanelli, they take that then with them to the secondary sector and throughout their lives.
When I came to the secondary school after being in my primary school, after doing the partnership, I realised where the tools actually kicked in, because there are only a few ethnic minorities here, so it surprised me that quite a bit of people did make some racist comments, and we were able, people from Llanllechid, we were able to actually tell them that it was really wrong.
I think everybody should know about racism, and if you don't want to be racist, you need to know about it, because you might do it by mistake and you don't know what you're doing.
When we talk about Martin Luther King or even gender differences, or well, people from Llanllechid do stand out.
Implement some cooperation from nation to nation.
Global partnership to me is a way of expanding the minds of the pupils you have in the classroom in front of you. You can't solve the world's problems, but you can at least contribute to the educational development of one classroom and one school.
Implement some celebrations from nation to nation.
There's nothing more important than love and friendship in the world, and anything you can do to encourage that in children from a young age. It's just reinforcing something that's very important to us as a value.
We go global, that's how we do it. We go global. Step up.
We hear the word globalisation and we feel very nervous. We think for the most part it's actually just businesses talking about how they're going to connect around the world and how they're going to take our money, put it in one global bank. Now, if we want the next generation of adults to understand each other, then it's got to start with young people, and we cannot let big business hijack this word globalisation.
It doesn't really take too much to add that simple human touch. Implement some unification from nation to nation. Let us educate to liberate.
Schools remain part of the Global School Partnership community and are able to continue to participate in our activities.
We go global, that's how we do it. We go global, step up to it. The youth should have the say, and it is possible that we can see a brighter day. We go global, that's how we do it. We go global, so just step up to it. We can cooperate, and it is possible that we can make the future great.
Since DFID began to support the Global School Partnership Programme in 2003, more than 2,000 partnerships have been supported. This equates to around 2.5 million learners in the UK and in the 56 developing countries, which is a really large amount of students directly benefiting from the programme. We're hoping that over the next couple of years that the programme will double this amount and reach around 5,000 schools in the UK, which means they will reach approximately 6 million learners.